So this image right here on my left, this is the accuser that is saying that she was assaulted by McGregor, and this is her partner that she not only is with now, but apparently was with at the time of the assault 6 years ago. This part right here looks really, really bad for Conor, straight up. So yeah, this Conor McGregor GRAPE story is pretty much insane. And everybody involved has made serious errors in judgment, from the victim, obviously, to Conor. Across the board, we're going to talk about what is in this article and what he's been accused of, and we're going to show pictures of the accuser for the first time, which, as far as I understand, no one's ever seen pictures of her before, but I'm going to show them to you in here. And yeah, we're just going to go through this in detail because this is insane. And if Conor really did this, wow, you know. But also, as a father of 3 daughters, you need to take responsibility and not put yourself in positions that are going to lead to things like this. Bottom line, okay? Got to take responsibility. This is, a guy can't do this, but you also cannot put yourself in positions like this. Bottom line, okay? So, woman who accuses Conor McGregor of GRAPE thought he was going to kill her. Now, before I get into this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I also want to thank the sponsor of this video, Kratom. Kratom is one of the longest standing sponsors of this channel, and it is the best place to get Kratom if you're a daily user. $60 kilograms, 5 times cheaper than you will get at the store, and it'll be at your house in 2 days. It's what I use. They have all the strains. You guys are going to love it. YoKratom.com. Check them out. All right, let's get into this story because, again, this was heard in court today, and this is getting serious. So a woman who has accused Conor McGregor of graping her thought the 36-year-old was going to kill her and said he wasn't taking no for an answer, a court in Dublin has heard. Okay, well, again, we're going to hear how she ended up in the room that she was in and whether or not it was reasonable to, you know, be like, oh, I'm going to say no in the event that he tries to hit on me, because that is unreasonable. Now, doesn't mean that he has the right to push through a no, because he doesn't. But she put herself in a position where it was like 1,000% he is going to try to hook up with you, absolutely for sure, because he is for sure going to assume that is what you're doing there, right? Anyway, Nikita Laman, I'm going to call her Layman, who is also known as Nikita Hand, is claiming civil damages against Mr. McGregor and another man, alleging she was sexually assaulted in December of 2018. Miss Layman has accused Mr. McGregor of pinning her to a bed and graping her in a hotel in Dublin. Okay. So this whole story sounds terrible for Conor and also sounds really weird on the other side for a couple of reasons. Okay. So again, I just want to lay that out in advance. The mother of one was left with extensive bruises and abrasions over her body, including purple and blue bruising along her hands and wrists, a bloodied scratch to her breast, and tenderness to her neck after she was placed in a chokehold by Mr. McGregor, the court was told. In her evidence in the High Court in Dublin, Miss Layman was said that Mr. McGregor kept telling her to relax, babe, as she told him she did not feel comfortable. Okay, that's obviously not a very big deal. It gets a lot worse, okay? The court heard on Tuesday that lawyers for Mr. McGregor will say that the act between him and Miss Layman, who has no automatic right to anonymity, was consensual. Now, here is a picture of her, just for the record, before we get into the rest of this. Okay, so this is her. Now, this is her now, right? This is 6 years later. And this is her current partner. Listen, the only thing I have to say about this is like, he looks like the kind of person who would want to be referred to as her partner as opposed to like her fiance, boyfriend, or husband. You know, it's kind of, you know, the kind of thing that a voter for the girl would say, right? Like, we just go, yeah, I'm her boyfriend, or I'm her fiance. Partner is like code for I vote for not the big guy, you know? Anyway, let's continue. So, the court heard Tuesday. The fighter, nicknamed Notorious, was in court to hear Justice Alexander Owens tell the jury it is alleged that Miss Layman was sexually assaulted by Mr. McGregor and James Lawrence on December 9th, 2018, by the way. The judge said that it is alleged that the pair had, in effect, graped her. Okay, I don't have any idea what in effect means. Why is that there? The court was told Mr. McGregor collected Miss Lamine a Dublin hairdresser and her friend following a Christmas party on December 8, 2018. Okay. This is where we get into the details of pay attention, because this is how she ended up in this situation. And, starts like it's in a different category from a girl who's just walking home from work and some guy grabs her and does this. You know what I mean? Where like that is just absolute 100% pure victim, where she is assuming that everything she says is true. Victim, but dumb. Okay? You let him on 1,000%, doesn't give him the right to do this, but you put yourself in this position. Okay, anyway, So John Gordon said that the pair were known to each other as they were from the same age group, from the same area, and had mutual friends, and had been in contact at various times through social media. Okay, so they had been talking through social media. Okay? At the time, she lived in the Dublin suburb of Drimnagh with her partner and 7-year-old daughter. She had been out with friends on the night of the alleged incident. Mr. Gordon said that Mr. McGregor was enormously famous and was considered a hero around Drimnagh. He said that his client was no angel and doesn't pretend to be an angel. Now, very important point. That's the attorney for the girl. That's the girl's attorney saying he said his client was no angel and she doesn't pretend to be an angel, which means they are going to have a lot of character witnesses that are going to be like, bro, this girl is a party girl, yada, yada. She did this, she did that. Because on the next sentence, on the night she had been drinking and had taken some blow. Taken some gogoon. First of all, who says it like that? The court also heard that she suffered from depression and had been on antidepressants. Okay, so the only reason that you would bring that up, oh, she suffers from depression and been on antidepressants, is if you know there's going to be a lot of behavior that they can prove she did that makes it look bad for her, right? So the court was told that later on in the night, Miss Lamine and two of her friends returned to her salon where they continued to party. At some point, she contacted Mr. McGregor. So again, this is a late night after party. Her and her friends are at a salon wasted. She contacted Mr. McGregor, okay? So I just want to run through this super quick, okay? Gabrielle and I just did a video. Well, we just recorded a video about this on Play With Matches. And this is exactly what we said, okay? If I am out partying and a girl DMs me on Instagram or text messages me when she's drunk at 1:30 in the morning or whatever, for any reason, okay? Regardless of what the text says, what she is actually saying is, let's hang out and go bang. Okay, period. I am sorry. There is no two ways about this. Okay? There's no two ways about this. Or at the very least, someone's trying to hook up. Okay? If I got into Gabrielle's phone and she had DM'd or texted some guy at 2 a.m. when she's wasted, like, hey, what are you doing? I'd clip her, dude. Like, I'm serious. Like, her and I would have the kind of situation that could potentially lead to the end of our relationship. She would never do that. Because that's what that means. And we all know that, right? So right out of the gate, just the fact that she reached out to him in that situation puts her in a position where he is not out of pocket to assume that he's going to bang if they hang out, period. In her evidence to the court, Miss Lamine said that Mr. McGregor collected her and her friend from the salon and understood they were to be taken to another party. He sat in the back seat with the two women while his driver took them around housing estates and beeped the horn. They later went to the home of Mr. Lawrence, who joined them in the car. This is supposedly the other guy who raped her, but there are some questions around that we'll talk about later. The court was told that Mr. McGregor had a bag of blow, which was shared between the plaintiff and her friend. The group, which included the complainant, Mr. McGregor, as well as his security team, then went to a penthouse suite at the Beacon Hotel in Dublin. She told the court that they were all drinking and laughing and that the mood was fine. Okay. But they went to his penthouse suite late at night. We talked about this with Alex Pereira and this OnlyFans chick that's all, yeah, we went back to his hotel and then, yes, I did go to his room at 2 a.m. And yeah, of course he had seen my OnlyFans where I was, but no, I didn't want to do it. Again, in that case, I am going to acknowledge she did not realize the dude does not speak English. And at that point, she's like, okay, this is actually kind of weird. Like, this guy doesn't speak English. I'm not sure if I want to hook up with him. I haven't even been able to talk to this dude. Okay. I realized, yes, of course I was down to bang. But now I feel weird. He's huge. He's scary. He doesn't speak English. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, but on the flip side, you think Pereira is out of pocket assuming that he's going to smash? You know what I mean? Like, you're an OnlyFans girl. And not just like a regular one, a dirty one. And you are in his hotel room. And he's like grabbed your ass early and been like, boy. You know what I mean? And this girl coming to the hotel with Conor super late at night. Come on. Of course he thinks he's going to bang. Now, this is where we get into, did he take it or not, right? So she told the court that shortly after they arrived, Mr. McGregor was on the toilet and told Miss Lamine to suck on that. Blah. Mr. Take him to the bathroom, right? I remember then being in the bedroom and there was a security guard over by the window and another security guard closed the door between the two rooms. I remember thinking, why is there 3 men in the room and I am the only one here? Now that is a reasonable concern to have. Maybe she's like, look, I was down to come bang Conor, but like, who are all these guys? Now she's getting uncomfortable. Maybe this is something she didn't sign up for. Exactly like what I was talking about with the Alex Pereira thing. Okay, just because a girl puts himself in a bad spot doesn't mean they have to do whatever the person wants, and they can change their mind, But again, be smart. So Miss Lamine was then left alone in the bedroom with McGregor, and he attempted to come on to her and tried to kiss her and rub her face. I knew what he was looking for, and I said I didn't feel comfortable. Really? Oh, you just figured out what he was looking for? Like you hit him up late at night, Conor McGregor. You hit him up late at night. He picks you up in a limo. They go to hey, we're going to go to my penthouse. Well, geez, and I just figured out what he wanted. Give me a fucking break, okay? She said, I know D and I know her family. Right. And so why didn't you hit her up? If you care about D, why are you hitting him up late at night? Dumb. Okay. Now, again, doesn't mean that Conor can just take it if she doesn't want to give it to him. I tried to talk him around and I didn't want to have sex and wasn't there for anything like that. This is why I'm being hard on her. Okay. If you didn't want to have sex with him, you should not have hit him up late at night and you definitely should not have gone to his penthouse. He just wasn't taking no for an answer. He pinned me to the bed and told me to relax, babe. I remember putting my arms up to keep him away from me. He just kept pushing his weight down on top of me. Not cool, dude. Not cool. Obviously. It is alleged later by defense that she went on to have sex with Mr. Lawrence, but Mr. Gordon said that she has no recollection of such an event ever happening. Now that is where I'm like, because the only way that they would admit that is if there was some kind of evidence of that, right? And the evidence must have made it look like it was consensual, like a video as an example, right? And she's like, I don't even remember that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's, if you're her and, I don't know. That's not that. The only way you would defend it that way is if there's some kind of tangible evidence that makes it look consensual, right? Because if you were going to do it the other way, you're like, yeah, he took it. I didn't, he forced himself on me. There must be a video showing that that's not what it looked like with him. Okay. So, the court also heard from, this is where this looks really bad for Conor. Okay. This part right here looks really, really bad for Conor, straight up. So the court also heard from Dr. Daniel Keene, who works as a gynecologist as well as a forensic examiner in sexual assault cases. He told the court he was working at the emergency department at the Rotunda Hospital in Dublin when Miss Lamine was brought in by an ambulance on December 10th. Now, this whole thing happened on December 9th. So we're talking about the next day, right? We're not talking about like a long time later. We're talking about the next day. Dr. Keene said she was very upset and was shaking and crying. He told the court how they had to get a blanket for her to sit on because of the pain she was in. In his report, Miss Lamine had told him that morning that the alleged attacker had her by the neck and that he had stopped her from breathing. He told the court that she also claimed she did not fight him anymore and thought he was going to kill her. Dr. Keene detailed extensive bruising across Miss Lamine's body, including her face, arms, fingers, forearms, knuckles, legs, lower back, and buttocks. She also had a 9-centimeter scratch on her left breast. Her her also stated that Miss Lamine was worried about a tampon she had been wearing on the night that she was allegedly assaulted. Dr. Keene explained he had to use forceps to remove the tampon, which had been wedged inside. How does that happen exactly? If it was consensual, if it's consensual, you explain to me how that happens. Okay, he told the court how he had carried out hundreds of examinations on women and said the extent of bruising on Miss Lamine was quite unusual. Mr. Gordon told the court, in the face of this, Mr. McGregor will tell you that this was a consensual encounter and they were just having fun and a bit of rough sex. That's his answer. What did I say about common sense? Don't be fooled into leaving it behind in this courtroom. What he is saying is that she gave him a license to carry out what would have been a brutal assault on her body. The defense claimed in the evidence booklet that Miss Lamine had several opportunities to complain to people about how she was treated, but did not. That's not true. She complained the next day. It will also claim that Miss Lamine is engaged in an attempt of extortion, the court heard. Mr. Gordon said that his client is being called a gold digger and a fraud, adding brave, but the bravery ultimately sits with my client because she pursued a mission for vindication and compensation to which she is entitled. And for these defendants to breezily and cheekily dispose of their claim is something for you to consider in due course. Okay, bottom line, like I said, okay, she put herself in that position. Bottom line is you can't just take it from a girl because she came with you to your penthouse either. Okay, I have no idea what happened, but a tampon being wedged in there is not a good look. Okay, now has that ever happened before when a girl was just wasted? Yes, I have heard of that story happening before for sure. Okay, now is it possible that that's what happened and she forgot and then it got wedged in there and then in the morning she's like, oh shit, and she's like, I need to go to the doctor, and now she's home with her dude and she's like, geez Louise, I need to go to the doctor. Why? It's like, I just need to go because of blah blah blah. Because I was graped. Yes, that is definitely possible. It's definitely possible this is made up. However, bruises, scratches across the breast, you know what I mean? Like all these cases, I will always say the same thing. I have no idea what happened, but that doesn't look very good. Extensive bruising, scratches everywhere. You know what I mean? I don't know. Either way, I don't know. I got nothing else to say about this, right? Okay. Except that this guy right here does not look like the kind of dude who would handle this the way I would. Fuck the cops, man. I would let everybody forget about this thing. I would never let her tell anyone. I'd let, lull the guy to sleep. And 2 years later, when there are a million different people that would probably be more likely to have done it, just me, it's what I would do. But neither here nor there. So anyway, that's what I got. Love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Bye-bye.